Okay, I'm preparing to install this toilet. It's a brand new toilet. The old one was just old and not flushing well. And I am not a professional, so take my advice at your own risk. But I'll just explain what I've done and the logic behind what I'm doing. And you can either agree or not, but it might give you some ideas about what you're doing. So this is a wax ring. What I've done is I just grabbed some of this wax, and normally you would use, I'm not actually going to use this wax ring, I just wanted some of the wax from it. So I just grabbed some chunks of it and then I kind of smeared it around. This is the opening where the sewage comes out and it meets into the pipe in the drain. My house was built in 1960, so it's got an old cast iron drain. And I got one of these kind of rubbery, I guess this is a replacement for a wax ring. It's an alternative to a wax ring. And what happened is my toilet down here, this red part is called the flange. Underneath that is a cast iron flange, and it was all rusted through on this side, and so I needed something that I could put these bolts into that would hold the toilet down, so the toilet gets secured down onto these bolts. The top of this pipe was kind of corroded and had dimples and divots in it. And so what I'm doing is I'm using the wax ring, bits of the wax ring as kind of an adhesive to help make a seal with this rubberized wax ring. And I think these, the guy at the plumbing store, I talked to 2 different plumbing stores and a couple of guys at Home Depot, my father-in-law. I just pretty much ask everyone, and if they give me similar answers, then that philosophy, whatever it is, starts to get a little more weight the more people I hear telling it to me. So I just ask a lot of different people's advice, and I ask them the same questions and see how their answers differ. And so this is what I came up with. So essentially the only parts that seal are between the bottom of this and the top of this pipe, and then the top of this and the bottom of the toilet. So I'm just using the wax as sort of an adhesive. And really the way it's designed, it's really going to funnel all of the waste pretty well. Like, because of this lip, it's just going to funnel it down into the pipe. But I wanted a really good seal because, from what I've been told, part of what the wax ring does is seal the sewer gases from seeping out and into the bathroom to make a bad smell. So even though the water may not leak, the sewer gases might. And the texture of the bottom of this toilet is really rough, and I was just concerned that it may not have a good enough seal, so I'm using the wax ring as just sort of an adhesive. So I'll bring these bolts up again through these holes, and then I'll just set the toilet on top and screw it down and go from there. One other thing I wanted to mention is that one of the advantages of this kind of foam rubber gasket, this green foam gasket, is that it holds its shape and it springs back. So it's a little more, has a little more fault tolerance for inexperienced people like me who is just a homeowner. When you put a wax ring on, you smash the wax ring down with your weight to kind of seat the toilet on the wax ring and to seal it, but it doesn't spring back. So if you make a mistake, you have to get another wax ring, and they can be, fairly expensive, $7 to $10. It's not that expensive, but it's still not something I want to be doing 2 or 3 times and hoping that it works. Whereas an experienced plumber does this every day, he kind of has a feel for it. I've got kind of a one-time shot. I just want to get it right the first time, and this foamy ring just gives you a chance to do it multiple times if you need to without any problems. Okay, so you can see now that I've got the toilet down. You can see a little bit of that green gasket beneath in that hole. There's the other side. It was really easy. And one of the things that they told me at the plumbing store is you actually want it to be giving a little resistance. So when I pushed down, I really paid attention to when the toilet made contact with the gasket and then how much further it had to go down to the ground. And it was, you know, maybe 1/4 of an inch or more, but that's what you need because you want there to be some tension so that that foam gets squished and kind of fills in all the cracks to seal everything up. One other advantage of the green foam gasket is that it holds the bolts up, whereas they kind of flop all over and fall down and with the wax ring, and it's kind of nice. It makes it a little easier to get everything together. So that's it. Tighten those down and then I'll put the tank on and hook up the water line, and it should be good to go.